One player who has struggled this year is Bryce Simon. A knee injury turned him from a starter to a reserve. But his small-town values and the loyalty of players and coaches taught Simon that an injury can make you even stronger.
Some of the guys from the American University men's basketball team.
Just remember being a little kid. Bryce Simon, I'm a senior. I always wanted like the older players to like come and play with me. Let's get up, get your coats off and whatever, and we'll go through a little warm-up. Like I feel like I have that responsibility now. Now that I'm in a position where I can be that type of person to take an extra minute to talk to a little kid. When you're doing this, try to keep your head up while you're dribbling. I hope it's exciting for them to see us walk into the gym, you know, and be like, you know, these guys play Division I basketball, you know, they're tall, they can do this, they can do that. You know, me and the other guys there, we all wanted to, you know, jump in and play with the kid. So, you know, I really cherish the opportunity to go and do that for little kids. Ever since I can remember, I've played basketball and like loved playing basketball. You know, my mom says, you know, she put a ball in my hands when I was a little kid and just went from there.
Bryce Simon grew up in Syracuse, Kansas. Population 1,600 in the middle of America's heartland.
When I first got here, I was known as like the one stoplight kid because like nobody could believe that my town only had one stoplight in the whole town. You know, walking down the street, I can tell you, you know, I know who everybody is. You know, a certain vehicle drives down the road and I know the person driving that vehicle. My high school graduating class was 35 kids. You know, I could tell you the name of every kid in my class.
Katie Kennedy, Brandon Bloyd, Harris Brogan, Jared Beard.
I mean, he's straight out of a Norman Rockwell picture. He is the small town, Midwestern, you know, values.
Michaela Kerr, John Steinmates, Tyler Cook, James Tracy.
Kind of like a Boy Scout. He's kind, considerate, polite, honest.
Ryan Dow, Josh Jones, Jessica McCraw.
You know, tight-knit, very tight-knit family. You know, they run the farm and it's basically a family-run business.
Lindsay Hayes, Maggie Welch, Rachel Miguel, Carmen Bieza, Price Hatcher.
Coming to Washington, D.C. was a big change for Bryce.
Zach McCracken, Peter Gould, Zach Geld, Lindsay Hayes.
And I never really understood, but you know, when he started talking about the change, you know, he said, you can't see very far. And I said, what do you mean? He said, out in Kansas you can see for forever. But here you got buildings.
Levi Westman, Bambi Pope, Amanda Chandler.
It's always funny because I tell people I was valedictorian of my class.
Brian Wong.
And then it gets into how big my class was.
Brandon Westman, Pedro Perez, Cole Knott.
I was like, yeah, there's only 35 kids. And like, oh, well, that wasn't that big of a deal.
Brian Percival, Tyler Hand.
Then you only had to beat 34 other people.
Nicole Howe, and me.
You know, now that I'm getting older and more mature, I realize that's a pretty good honor and something I can be proud of, you know, for the rest of my life.
But Bryce Simon had big-time dreams in a small town.
I was kind of ready to get out of the Midwest a little bit, to be honest, and see what else was out there.
Mercer turn around. He's going to feed back out. This time it's going to be Simon for three.
What was out there was American University, 1,500 miles away from Syracuse, Kansas. Bryce Simon started 31 games last year as a junior and gave the Eagles a threat from the outside.
He's got 6 points, and it's a 55-41 lead for the Eagles.
But in the semifinals of the Patriot League tournament, Simon tore a knee ligament, missing the conference finals. The Eagles won and went to the NCAA tournament for the first time in the school's history.
We wouldn't have been able to get there had it not been for Bryce.
Bryce sat on the bench for the first round game against Tennessee, knowing his knee would not allow him to play. But once American University couldn't win the game, Jeff Jones made a decision.
We didn't want to do anything that was going to hurt his knee. I wanted Bryce to have a chance to get out there on that court and, you know, just say he played in an NCAA tournament game.
I'm in the box score if anybody ever wants to ask. You know, I didn't necessarily get to play in the game or whatever, but just the fact that I was able to step on the court, because there's no guarantees. You know, I was coming back for this year, my senior year, and, you know, we all hope that we're going to make it back, but there's never that guarantee. Just the fact that I can always say I stepped on that court really means a lot to me.
This year his knee wasn't fully recovered, so he sat and watched his teammates for the first 9 games.
And Gilmore able to get it, turn around, hook shot,
After every practice, after every workout, I just have to go into the training room and get some ice, just a couple of ice bags wrapped on. They'll stay on for like 20 minutes or so. Most of it's just to keep swelling out of the knee so that I can, do as much as possible. It's a different situation now, and I was joking with some of the kids on the bench today even. It was like 10 minutes into the first half, and I was like, sometimes I get bored and like, because I used to play so many minutes, and now, I sat there for a while or whatnot.
Finally, 10 games into the season, Bryce Simon took the court for the first time in 9 months.
Just hitting a shot, was it felt really good. Especially seeing my teammates get so excited. That was really cool.
And I think the reaction to Bryce nailing that first shot is as good of an example as I could come up with in terms of how people feel about him.
I understand the situation. Like you say, my dad understands the situation now. It's just, it's something new to us, something you have to learn to deal with.
Sure, he played more before his knee injury, but still, he's on a great team, so it's worth the flying effort to fly out here to watch him play.
An injury to his knee taught Bryce Simon that loyalty from his coach and teammates are big city qualities found in small town Syracuse, Kansas.
I don't like the city, I don't like the traffic, I don't like how long it takes to go to eat somewhere, but I like the people.
Say high five.
What's up, buddy? There's all these stereotypes about East Coast people, West Coast people, Midwest people and stuff, but it's nice, that I can go back to Kansas and be like, these East Coast people are very nice people.
We want to close out on a high note. Thank the folks here at the Kogod School of Business for letting us spend time here and sharing with you this beautiful new facility. And remember, if you'd like to get the latest on your favorite American University athletic team, go to aueagles.com. I'm Al Koken, and we'll see you next time on Eye on the Eagles.